What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. I just saw some updated information regarding DMX, and we all know, what's going on with DMX. Apparently, DMX had to be revived 3 times on the night that he suffered the heart attack from the overdose, and apparently, this was a source from the hospital. Okay, and they talked to Entertainment Tonight. And the source from the hospital said that medical staff attempted to revive DMX twice at his residence, at his home, and they had to revive him again in the hospital after he was admitted due to reported drug overdose. The source told ET, or Entertainment Tonight, quote, "This is a very difficult time for the family. They are standing by his bedside, holding his hand and praying. They are really in prayer mode." The source also said that the 50-year-old rapper turned actor recently relapsed with his drug addiction, because we all know he had turned clean. I think it was back in 2018. But they said that he recently relapsed, and he was also diagnosed with COVID-19. Now, I don't know whether or not that was before the overdose or whether that was after he was admitted um, following the drug overdose, which caused the heart attack. Um, I don't know. I don't know whether the timetable with that, and I don't know whether or not that contributed to the heart attack or not. But a rep for the family named Angelo Ellerby told ET on Sunday that DMX is currently in critical condition, noting, quote, "He is in a medical state from which I don't think he will recover." And it was reported that Rough Riders to the Rescue Foundation organized a prayer vigil outside the hospital in White Plains, New York, to honor and send well wishes to the Rough Riders anthem rapper. Hundreds of fans and peers attended the vigil on Monday evening. Um, I'm not a medical doctor. I don't profess to be. I do have some limited medical knowledge just from reading. Um, but I do want to say this: the more that this situation unravels, excuse me, the more the situation unravels, and the fact that it is good that he doesn't seem to be getting worse, the fact that he hasn't regained consciousness as we are entering like 96 hours after this occurred is very troubling, to say the least. Miracles do happen, but the more that this situation unfolds, the more this reminds me of these situations. I'm a historian, okay? So I think of things from historical patterns. I don't know if you remember this individual, but some of you may remember him if you're into history or geography or world leaders. There was a former Israeli prime minister by the name of Ariel Sharon. Okay, and he was notorious as far as when he was a general for his cruelty pertaining to Palestinians. He was a hardliner. Although when he became prime minister, I think he was elected in 2004, he was becoming more moderate and uh, less of a hardliner. And I think he had changed parties shortly before he suffered his attack. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is, I think it was December 2005, Ariel Sharon, I remember he suffered a minor stroke, right? And I think I remember reading that the doctors gave him blood thinners, okay? And he was scheduled to go to the doctor, I want to say it was January the 5th or 6th of 2006. And the day before, January the 5th or 6th, he suffered a massive stroke. because blood thinners can cause you to bleed easily. He suffered a massive brain bleed, which led to a powerful stroke, which rendered him comatose. Okay. I think another factor in that is that they didn't get him to the hospital in time. I think something about his doctor wanted to personally see him instead of sending him to the fucking hospital. And so much time had went by that it was catastrophic brain damage, and he was basically in a vegetative state from 2006 until he died. I think it was January 2014. And another situation I'm thinking of is Joe Columbo, former boss of the Columbo crime family, who started the Italian Anti-Defamation League, I think it was, for Italian Americans. And I think it was during one of those rallies in either 1971 or 72, I think it was 71, when he was shot in the head, supposedly by a black gunman hired by, I think, Joe Gallo. But if you ever watch The Irishman, they touched on that. Now, Joe Colombo didn't die immediately, but he was basically in a coma for the rest of his life. I think he died some 5 or 6 years later. And another person that comes to mind, and I think this is the closest situation, is singer Jackie Wilson. Now, Jackie Wilson was a famous singer from the late 50s, 60s, into the 70s, right? And I think Jackie Wilson was performing. I want to say it was New Jersey, maybe in 1975, and he suffered a major heart attack while performing, and he hit his head hard. He hit his head very hard on the stage, and I think the heart attack caused him to not have oxygen for several minutes. And while he was revived from 1975 until his death, I think it was in February '84, January, February '84, till his death, he was in a coma for the most part, right? And I remember him reading, I think he died like maybe a little bit before Marvin Gaye, all right? So basically, this is what I'm saying, man. It's seeming like it's starting to look like DMX is starting to fall into this category where, for all intents and purposes, he's gone. I hope I'm wrong, and I want to be wrong, but he's falling into that category. Had he regained consciousness hours later or the next day, shown signs of consciousness, breathing, and with Ariel Sharon, he was breathing on his own. But some of these people, they were breathing on their own. You know what I'm saying? They just had irreversible brain damage, but they could breathe on their own. The fact that DMX, I think, can't breathe on his own, and he's basically a vegetable or in a vegetative state is very, very, very alarming. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Hopefully, something can happen. I remember reading a case that happened a couple of years ago where there was this white kid. I think he got into a car accident, and he went a long time without oxygen, like 10, like over like 15 minutes, and he showed no signs of brain activity for several days. And they were talking about like pulling the plug on him. And I think the next day, miraculously, he woke up out of his coma with no signs of brain damage. So miracles do happen. Um, but, we just have to wait and see. You know what I'm saying? We have to wait and see what happens here. I just want to give you guys this update on Earl Simmons, better known as DMX. Tell me what you guys think.